'Tis the season.
It's the next best thing to Christmas, I guess you could say.
When it comes to the great pumpkin,
I'm the strongest.
Linus would fit right in.
You gotta go smaller one than that, honey.
Here at Allen's Pumpkin Farm
You have to do this.
in Greensville County.
Okay.
It's here where tradition starts. For some families, it now goes back 4 generations.
It's nice that the tradition continues.
It's kind of become like a family tradition.
You know, get to do the traditions that their parents got to do, which is important, and it's just good old-fashioned fun.
But tradition often begins with a field trip.
We came to the Allen Pumpkin Farm together when we were, was it kindergarten? Kindergarten, which has been 24 years ago.
Yeah.
Greensville County Sheriff Tim Jarrett came here as a child. Years later,
I can remember bringing my children and grandchildren here.
and this all began with just 1 seed, a milk carton, and a teacher.
She brought a bucket full of dirt, and we planted a pumpkin seed,
And in the classroom it grew.
and then we brought them home and transplanted them.
1 year later,
And I was the only one to bring a pumpkin back the next year.
and folks, the pumpkin patch just began to grow larger each year,
I've been bringing children here for more than 25 years with Miss Allen.
as did the number of children coming on field trips.
We love them coming, I know that.
Meet the matriarch of the Allen family.
My name is Lois Allen. I'm 93 years old and I'll be 94 in April.
While the pumpkins are important, many come to also pay their respects.
She is an icon for the county of Greensville.
Sit down with Ms. Allen for a few minutes and you'll see why.
My husband and I moved from Richmond here.
She's worked this land for more than 60 years
Oh, look at her little dress too, that's neat.
and spent a lot of time with children.
I love children. I worked 22 years driving a school bus and working in the preschool as an assistant teacher.
And as the legend of the pumpkin patch grew every year and more children came, Ms. Allen was right there helping.
Oh, I worked in it all the time. I would just go and do anything I could for them, and they all went home with a pumpkin.
So who picked out the best pumpkin?
Me.
So who picked out the best pumpkin?
I did.
And as expected with the decision on which pumpkin to pick,
It was so heavy, it was kind of big. It's heavy.
Got it.
the future of the farm and the tradition of coming here, Ms. Allen says, will carry on.
That is my great-grandchild. He's picking pumpkins for his grandmama.
And while the field trips may be fun and the tradition important to so many, education is still the key.
The children need the real life experiences. They need to see things for themselves. They need to touch them, feel them, observe them, smell them. More than just a worksheet or a piece of paper at school.
About an hour after arriving, it was time to go with one last trip past Ms. Allen and a child's simple gesture.
Thank you, Miss Allen.
We work 7 days a week. The demand is just crazy.
Secluded in the woods of southern Dinwiddie County,
It's great working from home. It's great being able to make a living doing this, and it's what I love to do.
and working with family.
It is great working with Dad, and everybody wants to grow up and do what their dad does.
And what they do is a skill few people have.
We started making tomahawks in 2012.
That's right, tomahawks.
This one is a good utilitarian, going camping, hiking, stuff like that, trapping.
But there's more to this story
This is a 19-inch fireman's hatchet.
than just a sharp blade. The first thing you should know from this shop in DeWitt,
I ship my tomahawks all over the world.
and as for the 50 states,
Honestly, I would say all of them.
the second thing you should know,
Absolutely, they're made to be used.
they're all made by hand, and by hand, everything. Start to finish.
So we take a piece of 1-inch square stock, 4140, about 5 inches long, and we'll start with the drift, and we'll get that drift through there for the handle, and then we forge out the blade.
It's hot, time-consuming, takes a good eye, and great skill. As for the final phase, it takes lots of patience.
We grind the profile of it and lay the bevel for the edge.
But to get to this finished product takes years.
I was probably 14.
From there,
Well, it started off as a hobby, and it was a hobby for a decade or more. Actually, I was a mechanic most of my life, and then I was an insurance agent.
but in 2012, Mark and his then 14-year-old son were in it full time. And some of McCown Tomahawk's best customers
The Special Forces and a lot of military contractors carry them.
came about by accident.
My first military contractors that I hooked up with were through eBay. My first Army Rangers were through eBay. My first Navy SEALs, my first recon guys were all through eBay. And what they said was there was no good place to find a handmade tomahawk, and they had heard about our stuff or my stuff then on eBay.
And here is a combat pole. A lot of these would get carried by the military guys overseas. They either go on their side or they go on their pack.
But there's a wide variety the two bladesmiths make right here.
We have ones that are more geared towards camping, hiking, that sort of thing. We have ones that are made to be carried into combat, and we have some that are specifically designed for throwing.
And while some businesses suffered when COVID-19 shut down about everything,
My sales doubled the first 3 months of COVID.
as with any business,
This is a small chef's knife.
you have to look forward and not at the past.
I want to start a line, McCown Tool and Axe, and where you'll have kitchen cutlery, maybe carving knives, full-size axes, things that aren't considered weapons.
And when you buy one, just don't hang it on the wall for decoration.
They're made to be used and abused.
It's the time of the year where kids get excited, but they're not the only ones.
People don't know why he gets so excited, but I know why.
He's incredibly passionate about it for a reason.
For Keith Black, this time of the year is about giving back.
Giving is contagious.
A time of the year,
You know, I fell out on some hard times 10 years ago.
he sees differently than many.
I went from a person that was doing Meals on Wheels, Angel Tree, Toys for Tots, giving to all the charities for the food pantries, and then one day, next thing you know, I'm going to the food pantry.
The Christmas season made even more difficult because he had a small child.
Outreach programs like Toys for Tots gave me a Christmas for my son, which I wouldn't have been able to have without them.
And while his son got presents, Keith received something just as important.
It also has an impact on the parents, a great impact on the parents. Makes them feel whole again.
Now, a decade later,
He sells cars so he can give back, which is really, really cool.
Keith Black is in a position to once again give back.
He infects other people.
And he's taking his fellow co-workers with him.
He doesn't do it for sales. He doesn't do it to get people to like him. In fact, he does it very quietly, okay? But it's a passion for him, and there's nothing more important, and I think, than somebody to have a passion.
And his co-workers understand why this is important to him and why so many help out as well.
He's been on the receiving end of it, so he has a different viewpoint on it than a lot of people do. And I think it's marvelous.
Keith also infects his customers.
I hate to call them customers because all these bikes are actually from friends.
I showed up within 25 minutes with 3 brand new bikes to kick his season off right.
When I go up there and I see him, and when I dropped off those bikes, he was so excited.
With Toys for Tots boxes overflowing and new bicycles pushing new cars out of the showroom, these presents will do more than bring a smile to small faces.
The people that give change lives. It's that simple.
Even though it's as small as a bike or a toy, this could change someone's life path down the road. I mean, the children of today are the leaders of tomorrow.
And for Christmas 2021,
yeah, I think we got over 40 bikes right now. At last count, 40, 41. My goal was 50. I think we're going to get about 60 though, if I keep working at it.